the BBC would like to announce that the next scene is not considered suitable for family viewing. It contains scenes of violence involving people's heads and arms getting chopped off. There are also scenes of naked women with floppy breasts.
Just so you know what you're in for.
You've been warned. You know what's coming your way.
Don't call and complain.
No, don't.
You clearly heard Eric Idle
giving you that warning.
All right. It's the Jim Lee Show, but Jim is on vacation. Mike and Molson filling in, and we could be on the verge of some breaking news.
Yeah, there's a lot going on this afternoon. Coming up at 4:40 today for us, we'll have Ryan Mann from the SJR. I'm sure we'll talk about the Big Ten's big announcement that just came down, so we'll talk to him about that. Also,
we're being told that Joe Biden has selected his running mate and may announce it as early as today.
So, do we have a soundbite from old Uncle Joe here? This is one of the classic Uncle Joe moments.
This is my favorite ones. And if you don't realize what's happening, you'd have to set up what's going on here because it's an audio thing. He's in Missouri, and there was a state congressman who they were honoring at an event. The guy is in a wheelchair. And that's all you need to know.
Chuck Graham, state senator's here. Chuck, stand up, Chuck. Let him see you. Oh, God love you. What am I talking about? I tell you what, you're making everybody else stand up, though, pal. Thank you very, very much.
Everybody stand. Show Chuck what it's like to stand up. Go ahead. Look, he can't stand. Show him what it's like.
Let's not rub it in at all. Let's just stand up for him.
Here's a bunch of standing. Yeah. What do you think of that, Chuck? Huh?
We're doing that for you.
Bet you wish you were one of these people.
We're doing it for you, though, buddy. God love you. God love
you. Chuck Graham, state senator's here. Chuck, stand up, Chuck. Let him see you. Oh, God love you. What am I talking about?
You're one of those guys in a wheelchair.
Oh, my bad.
What was I thinking
You're
for a
like
second
Joe
there?
from Family Guy. My apologies. But 6297970, with this announcement, maybe as early as this afternoon, with the VP choice being made by Biden. He said the choice has been made, just doesn't know exactly when he's going to announce it. A couple things. 6297970, who do you think is going to be? And this, to your point, we were talking off air, a lot of times the vice president, the choice of it is, everyone's like, oh, who's it going to be? And it's made a bigger thing than it actually is.
Yeah. In the long run, totally irrelevant.
But in a recent poll that just came out from Rasmussen, they have reported that 59% of likely voters believe Biden's vice president will take over in his first term.
Within his first term.
If he's elected in November. That's 60% of these voters, likely voters that they had the survey with.
That's pretty tremendous.
That is. 6 out of every 10 goes, I don't think Joe's making it through all 4 years. So it's a crucial choice. And that included 49% of Democrats don't think he's making it through the first 4 years.
6297970. Do you think that's part of the equation here? He has telegraphed in the past that should he win, he's a one-term president.
Yeah, because he'll be what? If he wins, as he goes into the second term, he'll be 82
right
by that time. Yeah, you don't want the rigors of another campaign trail and everything. No. So, and he's looking for someone, from what we understand, from what we gather, is he looking for someone to have a relationship with like he had with Obama. Now, what you need to realize is that wasn't day one. They weren't the buddy-buddy like lethal weapon combo that everyone thought they were from day one. I mean, it wasn't Murtaugh and Riggs day one. Right. I mean, that relationship was developed over time. And so it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, we just saw Karen Bass was told she will not be vice president, but
and Stacey Abrams has been told that she won't be the choice.
So it's like he's doing the Bachelor for vice president. Like, sorry, you did not get a rose. I apologize.
Snuff out your torch right now on the island.
You have been voted off the island. Thank you for coming.
So no Karen Bass
and no Stacey Abrams. So 6297970.
Weird elimination game.
Exactly. Instead of announcing who it is, it's who it isn't. But 6297970, who do you think it should be? Right now, if those two are eliminated, it looks like it's going to be Susan Rice, who worked in the Obama administration. Also, he has the running Kamala Harris, Gretchen Whitmer, who's the governor from Michigan, and Tammy Duckworth still in the hunt, as well as Elizabeth Warren.
You can't have somebody who might be in a wheelchair around him.
Yes, that'd be terrible. It's like, please, Tammy, come over here.
We are.
We got it?
Oh, it
has been chosen right now.
Joe Biden has picked Kamala Harris
as his running mate.
As the running mate. So that's
the breaking news right now. So Kamala Harris, which is, I appreciate that, Kevin Hart in the newsroom. We don't have a formal announcement as of yet from Biden, but that CNN is reporting right now it looks as if Kamala Harris is the running mate, which is interesting because of the fact that she went at Biden pretty hard when we actually had debates. She was one of the ones that went at him pretty quickly and kind of led to his kind of drooping in the polls, and all of a sudden South Carolina came and got the resurrection.
So, and I think that's an interesting pick because of that altercation that happened in the debates, and certainly with the atmosphere that we have right now, Joe Biden can say, listen, it is very important that we do have a person of color on this ticket, and she clearly, because we all need to be kept on the straight and narrow and make sure that we're including everybody. So that from that aspect alone, a very interesting pick. 629-7970, your immediate response.
Response to this, to Kamala Harris being chosen as Biden's running mate. And it also speaks to what we were talking about, looking at this Rasmussen. And you got to wonder if this poll came in to the Biden camp, and as they were looking through it going, okay, if 60% of likely voters that they surveyed are saying, I'm not making it through my first term, how important was it to get someone younger who has political aspirations, who's shown in the past that they kind of know the system and could hit the ground running if, God forbid, something were to happen to Biden going forward and he was not unable to make it through the first term as president?
I think it's a pretty strong ticket.
I do, too. I think he made, you look at it, Whitmer, I don't think you could have done. She's been already picked on by President Trump, and I don't know if she could hold her.
She's pretty sloppy.
She's not really buttoned up.
Yeah.
And you couldn't. And here's the thing: as much as the progressives, the Bernie Sanders supporters, who you're worried about maybe losing, Elizabeth Warren would have been their girl, but she is older as well.
Well, and the argument I think the Democrats would make is Elizabeth Warren is more important right now in the Senate.
Correct.
Should the Democrats take the Senate, she becomes would possibly become Senate Majority Leader.
Right. Yeah. So she'd be more important there than she would be on the ticket with Biden. And it also just you get too. I mean, we've talked about this before on the show about there should be an age limit. So you get, if you're worried about Biden, then not like Warren's a spring chicken either coming in if he were to, go down in the first 4 years.
You are on WMAY.
Right, and that's exactly the problem that I have. Is depending on who Biden's choice is, depends on whether or not I vote for Biden.
Well, he's chosen Kamala Harris.
Oh, he has.
Yeah, just announced in the last 5 minutes.
I'm sorry, I was inside and didn't
That's
hear
right.
that. I will be voting for future President Biden, hopefully, because I can live with that.
Who were you having a problem with, though?
It depends on who he picked. Who he picked.
Who he chose.
I wanted to make sure he picked somebody who was going to be around, who had been around for some amount of time anyway, who would be able to step in when he is no longer capable, which I firmly believe he will not make it through a full term.
See, you fall into the 60% of likely voters Rasmussen had just polled saying they don't think he's making it through the first term. So that's why this choice was so important to the campaign, and I'm wondering if those numbers are just released yesterday, if that's why they made this decision today.
So do you think he doesn't make it through the first term just by his own choice, or something happens?
I think it's by his own choice, but I think it's because he realizes that he's not able to make the decisions he needs to make. I believe it will be his own choice, but I do not see a way that he makes it through his first term.
Thank you for the call.
Very interesting. And obviously that's a sentiment of a lot of people, including 49% of Democrats in this Rasmussen polls. That's why Kamala Harris, 54 years old, much younger, the youthful at 54, but still it kind of counterbalances. And I think it's a wise choice. I mean, that is a strong ticket going forward for Biden.
And you remember how fiery she can be.
Yes.
The debate between her and Vice President Pence.
Could it be any more different? I mean, seriously.
Well, my opinion on this particular topic is... And she'll just steamroll him.
Well, will he even be able to stand on stage with her? Because we know he doesn't like to be in the presence of ladies without his wife around.
Well, as long as Mommy is off in the
as long as there's no dinner being served, he'll be fine.
Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is...
The other breaking news,
besides Biden choosing Kamala Harris.
We're over that already.
As his VP. But there's bigger news.
Trini Lopez is dead.
Oh, no, not Trini.
Yeah. He died at the age of 83. COVID got him.
Oh, no.
So
COVID got Trini?
Another...
when life gives you lemon trees, you get COVID, I guess. I don't know.
Another loss to the coronavirus. 629-7970. And yes, the big news this afternoon is that Joe Biden has chosen Kamala Harris for his running mate.
And if you go to Biden's website, there is a pretty interesting Photoshop of them together on the front page.
Clearly just slammed together in the last 90 seconds.
Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? I got it now.
Hi, you're on WMAY.
Everybody's assuming that Joe Biden made the decision. I don't think he did. I think he was told who was going to be his running mate by the powers that be in the Democratic Party.
Well, who would that be, though? I mean, I don't know. Who's the head of the Democratic Party right now?
Well, you got the Hillary Clinton crowd. You got the Chucky Schumer wing. Yeah. You know, and you got the Chuck Soros wing. I mean, I think that they got together and decided who it was going to be. And there's one other point I want to make. I remember when Lincoln chose Grant.
Do you remember that?
President.
Yeah.
Grant was done for 3 days before he realized it.
Thanks, Irvy.
I don't think Biden made this decision.
It's always a tactical choice.
Yeah, I think he was definitely part of it. He kept pushing back his own deadline date, and from all reports that I get, he was very much hands-on in this process.
Don't say hands-on with Joe Biden.
That's true. Not when it comes to a woman, especially when it comes to choosing a lady as his running mate. Probably a bad turn of phrase by me.
Look at you.
He was very involved. I can't say that either. But I think he was part of it. Obviously, to your point, it's a group of people running the numbers of saying who's going to get us the best chance of getting elected.
It's a strategic choice based on, age demographics, where the person is from. Do they have any baggage?
Exactly. How do they help you along in the process? So I do think he was part of that process. But to Irvy's point, it was more than just Joe Biden going, I want this person. I mean, it was a collaborative effort. I do think he obviously had the final say.
It's a large consideration. And if, as people are at least imagining, he doesn't make it through a first term.
You wanted someone younger.
Trying to keep track of all the breaking news this afternoon.
Yeah, there's so much of it.
Joe Biden has picked his running mate. It's Kamala Harris. Trini Lopez is dead.
That's the big one right there.
And now Governor Pritzker's
emergency mask mandate. Jay Carr passed it. For businesses, they did that emergency mask mandate regarding Illinois businesses now in effect. Jay Carr voted 6-5 to keep that in place. So now if you are a business, you don't have people wearing masks inside, first thing is you'll get a written warning. And then if you continue to fail to comply, could have a fine up to $7,500 to $2,500. Pritzker said that individuals will not face penalties for not complying. However, they're obligated to follow this guidance under the law. Some objections apply. So that's gone into effect as of right now on a vote of 6-5 by Jay Carr, which is, what does Jay Carr stand for? The Joint Committee on Administrative Rules. Jay Carr.
It sounds much more interesting when you say it that way.
Yes, exactly.
And you have to now wonder, because we've had places like Fox Run who said they're going to sue the city over this thing. Now you have a superseding state mandate on top of it.
Where does that go? I'm sure DeVore and Darren Bailey will be all over this. I'm sure they'll be filing something soon.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And it is so unusual to me how cranked up people get about putting on a mask.
I was going to say how heated people have become over that simple thing.
And look, it's annoying. I don't enjoy it. I'd rather not have a mask on. But it's not wrecking my world.
Exactly. I got used to wearing one because I went out of state for a little bit. And so when I came back, got a test just out of abundance of caution. So I was wearing it around here on a daily basis. And to your point, was it something I was like, yeah, I'm glad this is the most exciting thing I've done? No, but it didn't.
And it comes down to this thing where we just don't like being told what to do.
That's probably what it is.
And I don't know how to phrase it any other way. You think back in World War II when people had victory gardens. You didn't have to really ask them to do that or to not take unnecessary, don't take unnecessary trips.
Right, yeah.
That kind of thing. You just did it because there was a bigger thing going on. And right now there's a bigger thing going on.
So
and I don't know why it's such a pain for people.
It's so cranked up, and it's one of those things of, guess what? If you're that upset by it, then don't come in the store. We have technology now. Guess what? You can grocery shop online. Don't. So it's beyond me.
So we take you to Tucson, Arizona.
Oh boy.
Where
Sheriff Joe getting all upset about it?
Yeah. A guy and his two sons walk into a grocery store. And I don't know what set this guy off. I mean, probably an 18-year-old saying, "Please put on your mask, sir."
Sir, you can't let you in here without a mask. I'm sorry.
And here is how this guy handled it, in a very reasonable, calm.
Oh, really? That's shocking. Normally you see them get very upset.
You said, "Hey, sir, I disagree with you, and I would like to have a sensible conversation about why I should not wear a mask."
Well, I'm interested to hear that.
People won't learn. These people won't learn. You're a bunch of idiots wearing masks. You know it's not real. Look at you fools. You got a f***ing doily on your face.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on a second, sir. I have a doily on my face?
Look at you. You got a doily on your face.
By the way, triple word score for him for using doily.
Doily.
But I don't know if I've ever seen a mask, even the ones that are like cloth that people make and have sewed, that look like a doily from my grandma's table.
You make an interesting point. If I were that cranked up, I don't know that I could reach and grab the word doily.
No, if you're that mad.
As an insult.
Exactly. I don't know if I was that mad. I don't even know in a regular conversation if I go straight to doily.
And what's about to happen here is the more heated this guy is, his son is trying to, "Hey, Dad, come on. And he's kind of pushing him on the chest. And what culminates is his son literally picks up his father and carries him out of the store.
Oh, my gosh.
Because you got a doily on your face. I like the way he stuck the landing on
exactly.
face.
Doily on your
Idiots
face.
wearing masks. You know it's not real. Look at you fools. You got a f***ing doily on your face.
On your
Look
face.
like you got it off your mom's countertop. You feel better now? You look like an idiot. You're a child. Trying to make you wear a mask. Shut up. Shut up. Yelling at people. You're a dork. Look at you, giant dork. What are you going to do? Good boy. Come outside. Come outside and tell me how tough you are.
I didn't know people actually said, "Let's go outside."
Yeah, I thought that was a thing that only happened back in the day. I didn't know people still use that.
So at this point, I mean, there's a crowd around him, and there's a big guy who could mop the floor with him, starting to come in his direction, and he says, "Let's go outside."
And while here's the thing. Much like if anyone ever utters that phrase, usually it's with someone else is in between them and the person they were going to possibly have a little tete-a-tete with. Yeah. And so the son is trying to push the dad out the door, and that's when he's saying, "Well, come outside.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do this."
You're right. When someone's pushing you, that's when you go, "Oh, you better hold me back. You better hold me back. I might go crazy here. Hold me back."
Someone hold me. Only when someone's between me and you.
What are you going to do? Good boy. Come outside. Come outside and tell me how tough you are. I'll beat that mask off your face. You're a bunch of wearing masks. Losers.
Goodbye.
I love the bye Felicia there at the end. Bye-bye. And the poor son in all of this has to literally carry his dad out of the store. I think that is the most upsetting and embarrassing thing of that entire tirade is the fact that you're doing this in front of your son.
And he looks like he's 18, 19 years old, something.
And you have to put him in the position to where he's...
to be the adult.
To where he's parenting a parent.
Yeah.
All over what? In the grand scheme of things. Yeah. All over what?
I mean, for the vast majority of us, you put it on, you go into the grocery store, 15 minutes later, you take it off and go home.
Yeah.
That's all you're being asked to do.
They're not making you wear it in your car.
Right.
You don't have to wear it outside. The minute you step 1 foot outside of that grocery store door, it can come off. And if that's the case, right, if he's that cranked up, he's got his son. Just send the son in there and wait in the damn car.
Right. Right.
Like, why are you making such a big deal? And by the way, I did like in the background, in case you didn't hear, the one individual was like, "Why are you yelling at people?"
Yeah, stop yelling.
Stop yelling at people. Why are you yelling at people? Just stop yelling at people. And that I appreciate them trying to get their point across, but in a heated argument like that, you're not helping anyone's case.
He wanted to feel like he was helping.
Exactly.
He wanted to feel like I stood up. I stood up to him too.
I said, "Stop yelling at
the
people."
son was carrying him out, but I said words to him. He knew how I felt.
I gave him the what for. Stop yelling at people.
I said, "Stop yelling at people." Hi, you're on WMAY.
Hey, if they're going to
pass a mask requirement, why don't they put some teeth in it? You know, why are they giving out first warning? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh, for the governor's thing?
Yeah.
I guess it's just trying to show that they're trying to extend an olive branch of like, hey, we're going to educate you about compliance. We're going to give you, a day or two or whatever to get this right. And if we come back again and there's nothing, then you get the fine. I guess it's just trying to soften the blow a little bit so that there's not as much backlash to it.
I mean, I don't think the governor's goal is to just completely wipe out businesses and shut them down and take their money.
Fine everything.
I think he legitimately is trying to figure out a way to encourage more mask use. And there are some businesses, for some reason, are holdouts and could care less if you wear a mask or not. And this is just his way of saying, yeah, you know what, you got to care. You got to care.
You need to in this situation. Otherwise, we're going to see more of this. It boggles my mind when you get videos like this, and I don't know if we can post it on our Facebook page or not, but it's just I just feel so bad. Imagine the car ride home if you're the son who had to literally carry your dad out of the store. I mean,
what was that conversation like?
How do you look at him on the drive home going, really, Dad, you made me carry you out of the store?
You know,
all over a mask.
On the way back to the car, the son was like, I think I'll drive. You don't seem like you're fit to drive a vehicle right now.
Oh, he better not have let him drive. I could have seen him like drive right in the cart corral or whoever it may be.
We're going to go home and talk to my mother about this. And she's going to have some words with you, Dad.
Yes. Just having to parent a parent all over something as just, to me, as trivial. I guess I just don't. It's hard for me to get in the headspace.
There's no way. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
There's no way whatever preceded that warranted that.
Correct. There's no way.
That amount of energy.
Unless a group of folks tried to pin him down and put a mask on his face or just shoved it in his face going, you got to wear this, 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 then maybe, just maybe I give him a pass. Mm-hmm. But it was some poor 18 to 19-year-old person, or even younger, standing there by the cart corral going, I'm sorry, sir, we can't let you in without a mask.
People won't learn.
And boom.
These people won't learn.
And he starts off with the conspiracy.
Yes, immediately.
These people, I'm going to teach them now by screaming at them.
You're a bunch of idiots wearing masks. You know it's not real.
Because here's the thing. Right. When someone calls me an idiot, I go, maybe you have something to say. Maybe you're right, sir.
I have not considered my idiocy before.
Please enlighten me.
You're on WMAY.
Hello?
Oh, I like this part of the show.
Oh, sorry, guys.
That's all right.
That's all right. Sorry, guys. I was listening to the radio. I apologize.
Well, we encourage that.
So really what I'm hearing here is that since Jay Carr has passed this rule, my business is being closed down because of the virus. We're not essential. We do entertainment stuff. But now that I've got a part-time job working retail, I get to be the bouncer at the door and keep these people out. You guys are making my day great. This is going to be wonderful.
Well, what I'm trying to follow your thread here. So you're saying you don't want to enforce the masks yourself, is what you're saying?
No, I do want to enforce the mask myself.
Oh, okay.
I'm tired of these guys coming into the place I'm working and not having them on when all you're asking is, you're in here for 5 minutes, guys.
Yeah.
Put on a mask.
Right, and now you have some teeth behind it, yeah.
Right, so I want to be the bouncer at the door. You can't go in.
You're looking forward to this.
Yeah, exactly. You're looking to be. I like it. He's like, bring it on. I'll play the role of that guy's son and carry him out of there.
In addition to other things, we have our daily poll over at WMAY.com, brought to you by Adams Pest Control, and we're asking you, what is the fate of the St. Louis Cardinals 2020 season?
Boy, it just keeps getting worse. They got their doubleheader Thursday versus the Tigers postponed, and then it looked like the entire Tigers series postponed, and then I see their first game against the White Sox looks like it's postponed as well, just out of abundance of caution. They've played 5 games.
Yeah, it's amazing. Your choice, it's completely over. They should keep playing, or MLB should just cancel the whole season for everyone. Give it up. So that's at the daily poll at WMAY.com, brought to you by Adams Pest Control for commercial, residential, real estate inspections, and termite control.
That may be something we talk about to Ryan Mahan coming up at 4:40 from the SJR. We'll talk to him.
I was just ahead of 10. My father said to me.
We're also playing the hits of Trini Lopez today.
In honor of him passing COVID.
Lost his fight with COVID.
At 83.
Oh, this isn't what I thought it was.
Oh, you're hoping for a different one, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was If I Had a Hammer.
Oh, his other big hit of Trini Lopez.
629-7970. So we've got Kamala Harris, Joe Biden's vice presidential pick. The mask enforcement
from Jay Carr. Vote passed 6-5. We also got
Trini Lopez is dead.
We got, and coming up next hour, we'll talk more about Big Ten and Pac-12 both announcing today. Football and fall sports, not going to happen for them. So we'll talk with Ryan Mahan at 4:40 and a little bit more in depth on that. In the interim, at 629-7970, there was a story that we didn't get to yesterday.
Yeah, and this was bouncing around quite a bit over the weekend.
Funny you say bounce around, but what's going on in the story. There's a guy over in Germany.
Yes.
He's at a park where you can be nude in a park. And he's laying there, I guess, sunbathing or relaxing.
He was swimming.
Oh, he's swimming nude. Okay.
Yeah, he was swimming and nude, and he turns around and he realizes a wild German boar.
I say oink to you, oinkity oink.
Oink, oink, yeah.
I poke you with my horns.
Watch out now. Do you have some truffles? Where are your truffles?
Starts rooting around in his bag for a pizza that he brought with him, and then ends up...
Okay, wait a minute. Who goes nude swimming with a pizza in their bag? It's like, man, I'm going to get real tired out. There's nothing better I want nude than some pizza.
Probably there on the counter. He's grabbed it.
Yeah, okay. But he grabs the whole bag, right?
So the pig grabs the bag, which included the guy's laptop.
And then all of a sudden...
So he sees this, and he comes charging out of the water. Everything is bouncing and flopping around.
All over the place, chasing this pig.
And at top speed.
Just running around. Cue the Benny Hill music. Eventually, though, from what I understand, the pig gets boxed in by someone's cardboard box inside the park. Because the rest of the Germans are watching this, and they're trying to help this naked man running around, flopping around for everyone to see, trying to get his laptop back.
He said he was very focused and running behind the boars in order to get it back. They adored how focused he stayed. And then he came back with his yellow bag in hand. We all clapped and congratulated him for his success.
Where to be?
On to Poland!
Bravo! You caught the pig.
Keep running!
You caught the pig.
We will have France tomorrow.
You caught the pig. You got your laptop back.
Didn't know wild boar were a problem in
I had
Berlin.
no idea either. Let alone, first of all, there's so many weird in that story. One, I didn't know you could nude swim over there.
Well, there is a movement in Germany called FKK.
Okay, that's a little close to something terrible.
Yeah, or a swear word.
Either way.
Which stands for free body culture. Free your body.
Yeah, free. It's all over the place.
So in summer, imagine going to Washington Park. In the summer, people just
stripping off and just jumping in.
And sit there with everything flopping.
Oh, God, that's bad nude. You don't want that.
With coronavirus reports of many animals becoming more daring, taking advantage of empty public spaces, knowing they can run away with your laptop while you're naked.
Trying to steal your pizza.
Wild boar have already made themselves at home in some Berlin suburbs.
Interesting. That was the other thing I didn't know. I didn't know that was a problem, and I didn't know you can have the nude.
And at the time, there was a woman who just happened to have a camera in her hand and couldn't resist
snapping the pics,
taking pictures of this guy. He is running like Tom Cruise, you know.
He's like
right, like the cop in Terminator. He's just going top speed trying to get. Welcome back to the Jim Leach Show.
This one's for Megan.
No, this is we haven't gotten to Megan's.
Oh, we haven't?
But I'll get this. Is,
okay.
This is Trini Lopez, who's dead.
Age 83.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the one you wanted.
Godspeed, Trini.
Godspeed indeed. You and Toots.
I don't want Trini Lopez to get lost in all the other breaking news today.
Exactly.
I know, whatever. Kamala Harris.
And Big Ten, no football. Pac-12, no football. That's fine. But Trini Lopez is passed at 83.
Coming up in about a half hour, we're going to talk with a sports reporter from the State Journal-Register,
Ryan Mahan.
What do you do when you're a sports reporter?
When there was no sports.
No sports.
Yeah, exactly. And there may be going back to that when you come to the fall. So we'll get the info from Ryan Mahan coming up at 4:40.
You're on WMAY. Hello.
I like this part of the show, too.
Hey.
Hello. Going once, going twice. Sold American.
Here are 20 words Old English words that we need to bring back.
Ooh, I always like when we do these.
These are historical words. These are legit words that at one time people said regularly.
I look forward to hearing what they were and incorporating them into my everyday vernacular. How's that for triple word score?
That's pretty good. Yahtzee.
I thought you were going to do that with me, jerk.
Snollygoster.
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 Ooh,
what do you think you are if you're a snollygoster?
I think you're a snob. I think if you're a stuck-up snollygoster, you look down on the rest of us.
You're not too far off. It's a person who has intelligence but no principles, especially a politician.
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of snallygosters in the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
I want to use that. I think if Greg Bishop is listening, next time you interview somebody, be like, what are you and the rest of the snallygosters going to do to try to fix this thing, huh?
Do you think that snollygoster Mike Madigan should step down?
Mike. The snollygoster Mike.
Pig puff.
Pig puff?
Pig puff.
That's just a bacon-infused muffin.
No, this is another adjective.
Okay, pig puff. Is it someone who's overweight?
No. No, but it's a young woman with the manners of an old one.
Pig puff?
A pig puff.
So if you see a young woman in her 20s, well, now everyone's at home, but before the COVID, if you ask someone who's like 25 years old, hey, go out tonight, be like, I don't think so.
I'm going to stay home and knit an Afghan.
You pig puff?
Come on. Pig puff.
That would get you. Here's the thing. Someone calls me a pig puff, I'm going out just to spite them. Come on, you pig puff. Just come out. All right, fine.
This happens around here quite a bit.
Uh-oh.
Fudgel. We fudgel a lot here at the radio station.
Is that where you hit the wrong button?
F-U-D-G-E-L. Fudgel.
Is that when you hit the wrong button?
The act of giving the impression of working but actually doing nothing.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of fudgling going on.
Everybody's fudgling.
That actually sounds like I had a fudgicle, and then there was a smaller version called the fudgling, and I preferred the fudgling over the fudgicle.
I would like the boss just to open the door one day. You guys aren't fudgling in here, are you?
Are you guys?
Right, knock it off.
You guys working or you fudgling around here?
Grumbletonians.
Ooh, Grumbletonians. I like that one. Has that anything to do with hunger at all?
No.
Or are people just complaining to complain?
People who are angry or unhappy with the government.
There's a bunch of Grumbletonians.
We built an entire radio station around it.
We did.
629-7970.
WMAY, you're home for Grumbletonians.
Hot Grumbletonian on
WMAY. Fudgling Grumbletonians here on WMAY.
Can we do a show in the middle of the night that's just called Hot Grumbletonian?
I think we should.
I would come in here at 2 in the morning and do...
listen up, pig puffs. You got nothing else going on.
That's right.
It's Hot Grumbletonians. I love all of this.
Frobly Mobbly.
Frobly Mobbly.
I love that. I love that word, and I love what it means.
That sounds like somebody's disheveled.
Frobly Mobbly means you're neither well nor unwell.
No, you're right in the middle.
How you doing today?
I'm a little Frobly Mobbly.
Right.
All the Grumbletonians out there are really bringing me down. I can go from Frobly Mobbly to...
WMAY, hi.
Hi. Way back in college, I was a member of the Royal Order of Profligates.
And what is a profligate get?
Profligate, as described by Webster, is someone void of social graces.
Oh, very nice. I like it. Way to class the joint up.
Nothing wrong with that. Hello, you're on the radio.
Yeah, hey, so got 3 quick questions for you guys.
All right.
Have you ever been lied to?
Yes.
Have you ever felt like the media's lied to?
Yes.
And have you ever felt like the government's lied to?
Probably.
Okay, well, the thing is, everybody's such an uproar about people not necessarily denying that this COVID pandemic, but just maybe that the effect.
We got a Grumbletonian alert.
He really is.
Grumbletonian alert.
Yeah.
Well, so okay, yeah, I heard you about the Grumbletonian, but just hear me out. Just hear me out.
Yeah, no, we're listening.
Okay, we're listening, yeah.
They don't want to wear a mask. Everybody's so mad at everybody that doesn't want to wear a mask. Don't you think that some people actually feel that maybe this isn't right and this isn't playing out how they say it is? So when they're telling you what you have to do and you don't believe it,
then don't go in the store.
Yeah. No, I don't feel that way at all.
I don't feel that way at all.
That does not.
I really don't. The numbers kind of bear out. Yeah.
And it's not that big of a deal. Wear a mask.
Yeah. How hard do you? Yeah. Seriously.
Lansperado.
Lansperada. Is that one of the Eagles songs, I think?
It's someone who always conveniently shows up with no money.
Oh.
Jim.
Yes. Oh, I can't tip. Yeah, you Lansperada. Of course you can't tip.
Callipygian.
Ooh, the fact that you said that correctly. Callipygian.
Well, I don't know that I did, but it seems
Callipygian.
Callipygian. Callipygian.
Or pagan. Pigeon. Okay. Boy, Callipygian. That seems like someone who has a beef with birds.
It is having a beautiful, well-shaped buttocks.
Oh, really? Like Cardi B?
Yeah.
She's a Callipygian.
Right.
Boy, did you check out that new video with Cardi B? Ooh, what a Callipygian.
I like having that in my back pocket because at the bar you can go, man, that chick has a nice
Callipygian. What?
And
what
she
do you
won't know what you're saying.
She had no idea.
Ultracipidarian.
Okay.
That's somebody who gives opinions about topics they know nothing about. Once again, we've built an entire radio station.
The Ultracipidians and the Grumbletonians.
Around
That's our MO. That's right in our wheelhouse. And these are 20 words from Old English that need to be brought back.
These are legit words. All of these are.
Yeah, they are legit. Look them up.
Phylogrobalized.
That's just that just seems ridiculous. I don't know if I've ever worked that into a sentence.
Having a hangover, but without admitting to actually drinking.
No, okay. I've done that a lot. I've phylogrobalized a lot in my life.
Groofling.
Groofling? That's like Baby Groot, but it's a bush instead of a tree.
Means to lie wrapped up and in a comfortable manner.
No, okay.
Like a swaddling.
Yeah, you got a groofling going on there. Please, don't go up to someone and be like, hey, can I groofling your child? Please don't do that. Please do not do that, and don't blame us for it.
I'm not sure how to say this one. UHTCEARE.
UHT.
CEARE.
Youth search?
Yeah, it means lying awake, worrying about the day ahead.
Well, just thinking about trying to say it.
Trying to say the word, yeah. Kakistocracy.
Ooh, boy, that's got to be something to do with the ruling class.
Yes.
But I don't know exactly how it pertains to the ruling class.
It is a government by the least qualified or worst people.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen.
We built an entire radio station around the concept of a kakistocracy.
With the Grumbletonians and the other, Saradarians or what it was. Boy, we could use these on a daily. Anybody listen? Grab the audio for this. This is a great sweeper for the station. Put those all together. It's going to be awesome.
Are you a Grumbletonian? Do we have a radio show for you?
Jim Leach, 3 to 6.
Perindinate. Perindinate. Perendinate.
It's a verb, but I don't know exactly what it means.
To put off until the day after tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
It's very specific.
Exactly. That's just
really
I'm
lazy.
not doing it tomorrow.
Really
I'm not procrastinating. I'm whatever. I'm going to put it off to the next day after that day.
See, now that makes me agree with that guy about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Mike and Molson, the only radio station right now honoring the life of Trini Lopez, as it should be.
83 years old. Godspeed, Trini.
He had to... This was a promotional song he did for Fresca in 1967.
Megan requested this, actually. I can't say I've ever had a Fresca.
I don't know.
Is a Fresca like a squirt?
I don't think a Fresca is like a squirt. I think a Fresca...
Is it like a sparkling water?
I think it's more like a Sprite.
A Fresca is a Sprite?
I think so.
But isn't it more... I don't know. Well, yeah, that's right. Because Squirt was grapefruit. What is Fresca? Now I need to look up what a Fresca is.
Okay.
Isn't it like some type of? Well, it's aqua Fresca, right? So just kind of like sparkling water. I don't even think it's a soda.
I don't think you're right about any of this.
I don't know. I'm not cultured enough to know what Fresca is. I've seen it. I know I've never drank it before. No, it has different flavors. It's a it's a grapefruit flavored citrus soft drink.
Oh, okay, so it's in the Squirt family.
So Fresca is like a squirt. Good to know. And it was first introduced in the U.S. in 1966. Mm-hmm. So hence Trini Lopez being the first voice of Fresca. Originally only a sugar-free diet soda, it's subsequently been sold in a sweetened form in certain markets.
Oh, see, again, you're not getting this over on the syndicated shows on
No,
WTAX.
not at all.
Nobody's talking about
what
Fresca and
Fresca
Trini
is.
Lopez.
And whether Fresca's in the squirt family or not. Good thing that you have that in there.
See, we're live and local, and that's what we're talking about. Right
and
now.
Grumbletonians, and what else?
So there's a few more of these words that
Old
we need
English
to bring
words.
back.
Okay, lay them on me. We got some doozies.
Groke.
No, that's like you being broke.
I like this one, though.
You're straight up broke.
And you've probably experienced this one. This is someone who stares at you while you eat, hoping you will share.
Oh, that's the worst.
You're a groke.
I've seen.
Stop groking me.
Here's the thing. I hate to admit this, but more than I care to admit, I've been a groke. Because there's times I eat fast. My wife eats a little slower. There'll be times where I've eaten my portion of the meal, and then I just kind of. And she'll look at me and go, "Did you want some?"
Gonna finish all that?
Now she can say, "Hey, you groke, back off."
I'll send her a note and give her that word.
Okay, cool. Appreciate that.
Chivinous.
Chivinous. That's like
2 V's in it.
That's like being chivalrous, but the exact opposite.
This isn't. This I don't know when this one comes into play because I've never really experienced chivinous. The uncomfortable feeling of wearing new underwear.
Yeah, usually you have to. I mean, normally you wash them before you wear them, right? Even straight out of the package.
I guess, yeah. You would think you would.
So you kind of break them in. You don't just put them on right out of the box.
Cacathes.
Cacathes?
Yeah, cacathes. CAC.
A bunch of laughing people.
OETHES.
Cacathes.
Is the irresistible urge to do something inadvisable.
Okay, so when you're drunk, you make a lot of cacathes.
Slugabug. I'm sorry, slugabed.
Slugabed?
Slugabed.
That means you just punch the bed.
Is a person who stays in bed after the usual or proper time to get up.
Oh, I'm that on the weekends. When I'm doing the other thing where I pretend I don't have a hangover.
Right. Before I start my weekly Grumbletonian. Abliguritian.
Okay. Okay, Joe Biden, thank you. God love you.
Abliguritian or abligurition.
That's something to do with walking.
It's spending lavish amounts of money on food.
Oh, okay.
I feel like an abligurian today.
Look at me. Filleting lobster. I'm an obligatoarian.
So to recap, Kamala Harris is Joe Biden's vice president.
Trini Lopez.
Trini Lopez is dead.
This entire station is built upon Grumbletonians.
The mask mandate has been approved.
Big Ten and the Pac-12 have both canceled fall sports. And Ryan Mahan from the SGR is coming your way after news.
A lot to talk about in the sports world.
Yes.
Strangely enough, even though there's no sports going on, there's a lot of big sports developments.
There's some being played, but a lot of them off the field as well. So.
This land is your land. Oh, well. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island.
It's the Trini Lopez dance party on WMAY.
That was part of the Let's Talk Trini Lopez lineup on Saturdays.
For you and me.
Mike and Molson filling in for Jim Leach. We lost Trini Lopez today. So
at the age of 83.
Trini Lopez stuff. 629-7970, where it is 440. And go over to Culver's, west on Wabash, and get curbside pickup, 726-7991. 726-7991.
Yeah, we're supposed to have Ryan Mahan of the SJR on right now. We had all that set up and ready to go. But
I can play more Trini Lopez.
Well, I have a couple texts. I have a couple texts in them, but we can kind of preempt what we were going to talk with Ryan about because there's a lot going on in the world of sports today. We got officials. So yesterday we had talked about it a little bit. And 629-7970, I want to get people's opinion on this. Should the Big Ten have waited a little bit longer to make the decision of whether to cancel the season or not? Because the SEC is hell-bent on playing football in the fall. And so what they've done is push back the
Who are they going to play?
Well, they're trying to. So the SEC obviously has their own conference, teams down in the South. And they also are trying to absorb other conferences that aren't going to play. The problem is that incorporates more travel to farther places. And with all the states doing their different things, it's going to be hard to legislate it. You really kind of need a bubble. So basically what the Big Ten had to say, and I have their statement here, and there were coaches like Jim Harbaugh from Michigan, Ryan Day from Ohio State and James Franklin from Penn State and Nebraska's Scott Frost that were saying, no, we need to play. But in a statement released Tuesday, the Big Ten announced that multiple factors, including the medical advice and counsel from its experts, led to what is deeming the postponement of the 2021 fall sports season. Now, it's not just football that's being postponed. Volleyball, soccer, also going to be a part of this. Further down, the interesting part of this entire statement from the Big Ten, I won't bore you with all the ins and outs of it. You can read it for yourself online. But one of the things that has popped up as it pertains to COVID-19 and younger people, the fact that myocarditis is one of the things that is a significant health concern that largely led to the Big Ten's decision. Now, this condition involves an inflammation of the heart muscle. It can reduce the heart's ability to pump, causing rapid or abnormal heartbeat. It's what caused Hank Gathers years ago to collapse and die on the court, the Loyola Marymount forward. So that was one of the things, and what they come to find out is that at least 15 Big Ten players have been left with myocarditis after contracting COVID-19. So in abundance of caution, that's why one of the major things and major reasons why I've decided to call off the season. I just got a text from Ryan Mahan. He may be calling in here very soon, so we can talk to him a little bit about it. But so the Big Ten has said, we're not going to play. And now the Pac-12 has come out and said, we're not going to play. So 2 of the 5 Power 5 are not going to play now. So they have canceled their seasons. To your point, then Big 12 may follow. That's what. And so if it comes down to, if it's just the SEC and the ACC, then what are you playing for?
Right.
And
And are you interested in watching?
Yes.
A fraction of a season, knowing that a lot of the big teams are not going to even go onto the field.
Right, and that's just the thing. It's like, okay, to what end? If you are the national champion, of what? You didn't play the entire country. It was just segmented to just your conference. So, to what end? If you're the ACC and the SEC, at what point do you pull the ripcord? Now, the SEC has said they're going to push back the start of their. They're going to take as long as they can. They've pushed back the start of their season to later in September. They want to give some time for when players come back. And the argument from Nick Saban of Alabama, obviously, was, hey, the kids are safer here. Our players are safer here than they are being in their own hometown because we have better medical facilities.
Yeah. Hello.
Mike.
Yes, Ryan Mahan from the SJR. Thank you for joining us, sir. We were just talking about the Big Ten's decision about calling off and canceling fall sports. What is your take on this? There are a lot of people out there saying that they pulled the ripcord too soon on this, and they probably should have waited to see what would happen when students came back to campus first before making this call.
I just don't know how you can have things on indefinite holds. I think people need to have a set time of when to expect to play. I mean, it's not just the student athletes, it's not just the coaches, it's the event personnel, it's everything. And there's and it's the fans too. I mean, there's people who will be from, let's say, Springfield, and they want to make that big trip to Michigan to see Illinois play Michigan, or forgive me, I don't know the schedule this year, but
but whatever it may be,
It's just, I'd rather have, and it sucks, it really does. But I'd rather have sort of a concrete plan rather than as we were in the spring when you never knew. Like, okay, is this when we first got in the schools are closed and the winter sports were done and spring sports were put on hold, and then it was like it was just a waiting game,
right?
And that's not fair for anybody. And selfishly, the ones that want the sports to be there are us, the big fans, the fans that are in front, whether it's the Illini that you're fans of, or the NBA or NHL or whatever. Like, we're the ones who are, we're a little bit selfish at this point because it's like, man, we haven't had anything to really, our lives have been so upended for so long. Let's just try to get back to normal. And I can't say that that's
No, it's totally reasonable that we want that and we crave that. Is it worth it though to have this weird Swiss cheese schedule?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's worth it if we can get something kind of sports.
Yeah,
right. We're talking with Ryan Mahan from the SJR. So let's backtrack a little bit to you said about the waiting game in spring. What was it like for someone who is so into sports and that is your job to go in every day and not have any sports going on? How eerie was that?
So in the beginning, what it did was, Bill and I thought, this is a great opportunity to maybe go catch up with some people that we don't normally get to. Like, I did a story the first few weeks of the pandemic with Tim Wilkerson, the NHRA funny car driver from Springfield. Yeah, I'd been at the paper since 2002 as a part-timer. I'd never once interviewed him. We used to have an auto race reporter, Hal Pilger. When he left, Marcia Martinez took over a bulk of that stuff, but I never talked to him. So it was a great opportunity for me to go to a shop, to look around, to talk to him, to sort of ask him questions not only pertaining to the story, but just pertaining to racing and the NHRA. I know a little bit about, the motorcycles that come to Springfield. I cover that twice a year. Mm-hmm. Springfield gets the stock car of the ARCA races and the open-wheeled USAC cars at the State Fair time. And I've seen plenty of IndyCar and NASCAR on TV in my life, but I'll tell you what, one thing that I haven't watched a lot of in my lifetime is NHRA drag racing.
Right. But how many human interest stories did you go through before you said, I'm out, there's nothing left, I've found all the human interest stories there are in sports in Springfield?
I'll tell you what, there were so many that still haven't been told. Yeah. I mean, for the last 5 weeks, one of us have been on vacation. I was on a week vacation, and then Bill took 2 weeks, and then I took 2 weeks, and now we're back. And I always plan it where I take the 2 weeks right before football practices begin. And I had tweeted, and I truly believe this, like when football got pushed to the spring, just like soccer and volleyball. And I said, you know what? This is the silver lining here is that your cross-country runners, your girls and boys golfers, your girls swimmers, and your girls tennis players, those athletes always sort of play second banana to the probably third banana, because your main coverage in the fall goes to football. And then when you have an opportunity, you get out to soccer and volleyball matches. And then when you have an opportunity on top of that, then you get out to a cross-country meet. And usually, even when we had more staff, we weren't getting to cross-country meets that weren't the CS8 meet, the first regional meet, like that kind of stuff. Golf, we would cover, the CS8 meet, but we didn't cover it. And so I said, for 8 weeks, these kids are going to be bigger stars in like local markets throughout the state than they've ever been.
Yeah.
Like they get a time to shine.
That's a good way to handle that, and I'm sure they and you know what? Yeah, it was time for that. So what an unusual happenstance.
And I will give credit, and we're talking about Ryan Mahan from the SGR. To your point about an indefinite holding pattern, I will give credit whether you like the decision of the IHSA or not as it pertains to football. I at least give them credit for making that decision sooner rather than later of keeping everyone in this holding pattern and going, well, can I practice? Can I not practice? So I at least give them credit for that.
Absolutely, and pushing some things off. It gives you maybe a better shot of getting it in. But if you were dead set on, well, football has to be played in the fall, whether we're talking about Big Ten, Pac-12, or high school, if you're dead set on it has to be played in the fall, and then it gets even worse, then your hands are tied.
Yeah.
This gives us a chance what that we didn't have for the spring sports, and we didn't have for those kids who were still in basketball season.
True.
They never got that chance of having a holding pattern and trying to make it to June and maybe getting 6-week seasons in or whatever. But this at least gives us an opportunity to try to fudge a little bit.
Right.
And, if February 15th comes and football practices are to begin, but because it's winter and people are still mostly stuck inside, if they determine, hey, look, too many people are inside. We need to push football back a month. I don't know how they do it, but
they at least give themselves a runway to kind of try to figure it out.
Yeah, but you just can't hamstring yourself, and I feel like that's what the Big Ten and Pac-12 did today. Is they decided, we're going to give ourselves a chance to get this in, a better chance later down the road.
So thank you, Ryan, for stopping by the program. What do you got in the hopper for some of the interest stories coming up here at the SJR?
Well, if I told you those, then I'd be handing opportunity for the other
guys trying to run a business over there.
But I mean, right now, like Bill went and caught up with a few golfers and
cool
cross country team. And you try to get to a swim team or tennis team.
Awesome.
Couldn't make it out yesterday, but we're from here to the beginning of the first fall sports contests. We're going to be trying to do some previews type stuff that we normally would do for football. We're going to go all out, I think.
Nice.
As much as a 2-person department can go all out.
Well, you're doing a great job, Ryan. We appreciate you being on the show today.
Thank you.
Take care. It is 4:53. Time to go to Culver's West on Wabash and get curbside pickup. 726-7991. 726-7991. Culver's.
Thanks again to Ryan Mahan from the SJR stopping by there. Some interesting thoughts, and I tend to agree with him as far as the Big Ten goes. A lot to unpack today.
No shortage of things. Oh, the sweet sounds of Trini Lopez.
Gone too soon. At age 83. After losing a fight with COVID. Speaking of COVID, just came in, Sangamon County, highest daily total coming in. We'll have more of that in the news, I'm sure, top of the hour. Joe Biden picks Kamala Harris. Big Ten and Pac-12 cancel the fall sports seasons. So there's, some things going on. But most importantly, poor Trini.
From the Fly SPI Studios, take these.
Unchain my heart, baby, set me free. Unchain my heart, 'cause you don't care about me.
There we go.
There you go.
You've got me sewed up like a pillowcase.
You're so broken up you can't even speak.
It's a nonstop tribute to Trini.
Set me free.
Trini tribute.
Right.
I couldn't say it.
It's a Trini Butte.
Even better. Trini Butte.
We're having a Trini Butte today.
The Trini Lopez.
Because you know what? Have you seen that on the news?
No, I have not seen it yet.
We've got the major networks on over our shoulder here. They haven't broken.
I've seen the
Kamala Harris, blah, blah, blah.
Big Ten not playing football. Pac-12, nothing.
Nothing about Trini Lopez.
Passing away at age 83.
Welcome. It's Mike and Molson filling in for Jim Leach. Sorry about that. On News Talk 94.7 and 970 WMAY. 629-7970 is how you reach us.
Weigh in on this one. All right. Weddings haven't really gone as planned this summer for a lot of people. They've had to either move them or, downsize them and this, that, and the other thing. But here's a doozy of a humdinger. This one right here may take the cake. Hey-o.
All of a sudden, Mike is from 1930.
Exactly. A doozy of a humdinger. Here is from Reddit's forum. My fiancée Nicole and I had chosen our wedding date, booked the venue, and notified the immediate members of the family of the date and the pending save-the-date mailings. Nicole's cousin, that's the fiancé's cousin, Amber, found out that we had announced the date and called Nicole upset that we had booked a wedding on her wedding date. We were confused because Amber and her boyfriend weren't even engaged, but she and her boyfriend claimed that they knew that was the date they were getting married. All right, so you're following so far? So this guy and his wife send out to save the dates to the immediate family.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, cousin Amber calls in and says, "What are you doing? You're upstaging me." But they had no idea Amber and her boyfriend even going to get married, but they said, hey, that was the date we were going to choose. All right.
Jeez.
Yeah. So they were going to do a courthouse wedding with their families, then wanted to come to our wedding. So they said, all right, well, here's the thing. You may have taken our date, but let's here's the olive branch. You have your wedding. We're going to go to the courthouse, get married. But afterwards, we're going to come over to your wedding reception.
Oh, They want to double up on the wedding reception.
Well, here's the thing. The groom-to-be is apparently suspicious of Amber's intention, says he believes, quote, they're trying to get a free reception out of me and my fiancé.
Yeah, that sounds what's happening to me.
He says his fiancé is now upset with him because he told her cousin that she and her boyfriend won't be allowed at their wedding if they decided to get married on the same day.
Wow.
So what he's saying is, you're welcome to come, but don't be coming in with your bouquet and everything else to try to piggyback on our reception. Now his wife-to-be is upset, saying, well, you can't ban my cousin to come into the wedding if they get married.
Why are weddings so hard? It's supposed to be a lovely day.
Yes. So 629-7970, how would you handle that situation? I don't know. I don't know if I would ban them, but I'd be like, hey, listen, I appreciate you're also getting married at the courthouse, but this is our wedding reception.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome. And if you want, see, but they can't, you can't come in a wedding dress or wedding gown.
Yeah, you can't have two women walking around in a wedding dress.
That's going to look weird. You can't have your own first dance. You can't cut into our cake.
How many bouquets can you throw?
Right. So 629-7970, how would you handle this situation? And what size of the argument do you kind of fall on? I tend to agree with the wife-to-be that he shouldn't have just unilaterally said, if you're getting married this day at the courthouse, you can't come to the reception.
Right.
I think he's kind of gone a little too far in that situation. But at the same token, I understand where he's going, where it's like, you didn't send out a save the date. Conveniently, after we send it all out, you go, well, that was going to be our wedding
like
day.
They're supposed to be mind readers.
Yeah. I just don't, to your point, why are weddings so hard sometimes?
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit, well, first of all, it doesn't really feel like they're making a big to-do about their wedding if they're just going to the courthouse.
True.
And doing it that way.
But then saying...
That's pretty sterile.
Yeah, but then saying, well, then we're going to come to your wedding. It seems kind of fishy.
Yeah.
I don't know if for certain they have ulterior motives, but it seems awfully fishy to me that you would say, oh, that was going to be, we got your save the date card. How dare you? But here's the olive branch. We'll just go to the courthouse like we're planning on doing, and then we'll come to your wedding reception.
I'd like to hear from people who have been to a wedding in the last 6 months.
Yeah, what's that like? Or have you had to push back your wedding? Mm-hmm. Because I am scheduled to be an officiant for a wedding.
You're going to brag now.
Yeah, this will be my third wedding I've done. I'm scheduled to be the officiant at a wedding over Labor Day weekend here in town. Wedding's still on. Got the save the date card, but I'm going to be interested to see what that looks like and what kind of concessions they had to make in this situation. And so I don't know. It's kind of weird. There's probably been so many people that have had to kind of push back or try to reconfigure things. But I would like to maybe hear a story of, did you ever ban someone from coming to the wedding?
Yeah, no.
Because that's what this guy has unilaterally done. And I don't know if I agree. I don't know if the penalty for Amber for what she did is worth that.
There's always something. There's always some family thing. You know, somebody still has a grudge about something, and they both end up at the same place at the same time. They probably had, they've been mad for decades, and it's just like it seems like it's almost inevitable at weddings that something like that happens.
I had the opposite actually happen at our wedding. We invited two people who had beef with each other. They were friends, had fallen out of favor, had some beef with each other, but came to our wedding reception and left better friends. They mended the fences. So there's that. It doesn't always end up bad.
That's the magic of the Windmacher
Schultz wedding. Yeah. Exactly. By the way, when at one point I can't remember where it was, but they asked like last names. Like we're filling out some form or something. And they were like, all right, Schultz Windmacher. And I'm like, that is Germany's favorite cop duo is Schultz Windmacher. That's the next sitcom.
Sweetheart, we have to get home. The Schultz Windmacher is on. It's to be continued from last week.
It's like America's Heart to Heart, but it's Schultz Windmacher. Look at them. Solving the crimes and everything else they're doing. It's so much fun. So, yeah. I don't know.
How did they get out of it this time, I wonder?
Yeah, with the Schultz Windmacher. So, yeah. So, 629-7970, if you had to push back a wedding or where you fall in this goofed up story. Because, yeah, it just seems fishy. I mean, it may just be innocuous. They may just be like, hey, that just was the day we had planned to go to the courthouse anyway, but didn't tell anybody.
I know I'm projecting, but I feel like these people are kind of Decatur people.
Oh, they're very Decatur-y.
Everybody?
Yeah.
I think everybody.
Yeah. To piggyback on someone's wedding reception and go.
And whatever you want to call those people. Some say white trash. But I'm not going to say that because that's mean.
No,
I'm just going to call them Decatur people.
Decaturans.
You're acting like a Decatur people right now.
Exactly. With your jumping on someone else's, getting a free wedding reception. That's very Decaturant of you.
I still want to be relevant. I want to be relevant too.
How's my hair, Mike? Making jokes about my hair, Mike?
You're the kind of guy that would do that kind of thing, Mike.
Mike. Not going to call you Speaker. Going to call you Mike.
One moment, please. Our Trini Butte continues.
I love that.
Dicen que por las noches no más se viven puro llorar.
Yeah, it started out, it was kind of funny to play Trini, but I'm starting to like him.
I am too. This is kind of one of those on a Friday. Your wife comes home or something, and you got this playing in the background.
Oh yeah, she's gonna kiss you.
Oh yeah, she is. A little Trini Butte for you too. Ooh, that's good stuff.
I miss Trini already.
I do too. I just learned about Trini today, but I miss him already.
That's a shame.
Yeah. 629-7970. That is the listener contact line. We just got news from the newsroom. Shocking.
That's where it all comes from.
Yeah.
And the thing that I kind of suspected, and you just have to be ready for this, is the discussion now at Springfield 186 of maybe just starting the school year totally remotely.
Yeah, because we get the one-day highest total in Sangamon County for positive cases today, and so now a special school board meeting is set for Thursday to vote on a resolution to start fully remote. And that's what I think a lot of the teachers and some of the unions representing teachers in Illinois are saying, hey, instead of trying to put people in harm's way to start out, let's try fully remote to start and see what happens.
I mean, if you haven't picked up on it since March, don't get married to anything right now.
Correct.
Because it's probably going to change.
Yes.
And, we did the thing. We registered my daughter and got her ready for school and everything, and she was going to do the hybrid, which was fine with us. But it was one of those things where it's like, I'm not gonna assume that that's what it is. Something is probably going to happen. Again, they're going to vote on that. It hasn't officially changed yet.
And it was the slimmest of margin in the first place, right? To
Correct.
get to kind of the hybrid where they're at. So it'll be interesting to see. And here's the thing. I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't have kids, but I can understand, the spring towards the end when they called it off was challenging, right? But we were all dealing with kind of working from home at that point. But now as a parent, you kind of want to know. I understand they push back and they're trying to give themselves a little bit of lead up and everything else, but it's going to be a fluid situation. So you can't marry yourself to a certain thing right now.
And it's difficult because of the ripple effect. Parents have to go to work.
Correct.
And they kind of expected the kids would be in school. And there's also, I can make a compelling argument for both directions of get them back in school or don't be in school at all. I think there are ramifications of them not being around and socializing and, just anxieties and depressions. And I think that's a very legitimate concern. At the same time, it's like, look what happened in Georgia and how quickly that thing turned around.
Oh, yeah. There was,
It's going to happen.
Yeah. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And do you run that risk early on right away? Or do you buy yourself some time with remote learning to start and then try to put in different protocols and maybe better contact tracing and everything else to inevitably come back in? Or do you wait for the numbers in Sangamon County to kind of go down where you have a few days or a couple of weeks in a row where you're in single digits like we were at one point early on in this thing and say, okay, we feel like it's a little safer. Now we start to assimilate back in and kind of do that hybrid thing instead of starting with that and then having to fall back on the remote. So it'll be interesting to see what happens at that school board meeting on Thursday and how contentious it gets too.
Yeah, because you're right. Yeah, you're right about that. It is going to be another big deal. And, no matter what they decide, obviously if they decide that it's remote learning, but regardless, all it's going to take is for a teacher to get sick and the whole equation changes again.
Yeah, it becomes goof.
So that's where they stand right now.
Granada, tierra soñada por mí.
Ooh, yeah.
Mi cantar se vuelve gitano cuando es
I like that guitar, man. It's like straight out of Desperado.
Mi cantar.
Yeah, that one went right to the heart.
Boom. Our Trini Butte continues.
Mi cantar
If you're missing some of the biggest news of the day, Trini Lopez has passed away at the age of 83.
And Kamala Harris is Joe Biden's vice president pick.
And Big Ten and Pac-12 have decided that they are not going to have fall sports. The Springfield School Board.
Listen to that note he's holding. God! That was amazing.
That was very good. Ooh. Nice. A little change of pace. I got to buy his greatest hits
like
now.
This a lot.
I do too. Yeah. We got a special school board meeting on Thursday, and we also have our highest amount of one-day total of COVID cases. So, COVID. Everything sounds better with this in the background.
Yes, Trini makes everything better.
It really does. There's no Big Ten football this fall. Well, but I still want to dance for some reason. Trini Butte. 629-7970. This is an interesting question. You can sometimes find these at Ask Reddit. Mm-hmm. And I found this earlier just kind of seeing what we talk about today on the show before all this other news hit. But the question was asked.
Back when Trini was still alive.
Back before the world was shook by the loss of Trini Lopez. What was the last show Trini did? Man, he's got some jams.
This is a good song. I like this song. So I'm sorry. The question that we found it right.
The question was, what is something you wish you had started doing earlier in life? 629-7970. So, for example, I didn't start playing hockey till like 5 years ago. I'm 38 years old when I started playing hockey. Kind of wish now that I play it, that I enjoy it so much, kind of wish I started that a little earlier in my life than at 38.
Yeah.
So the kind of stuff like that. 629-7970. What's something you wish you had started doing earlier in your life?
I still don't, but I never learned to play an instrument of any kind.
There's still time.
I know.
There's still time
but
for
I
you.
should have started sooner.
That's true. You haven't started yet, but it's something you wish you would have started earlier in your life.
I would have started that sooner.
Another thing for me, which is weird to say, is I wish I would have varied the cuisine I'm willing to eat earlier in my life. Because I feel, looking back now, that I denied myself a lot when I was younger. Because I was so picky. It was like, I'm just going to eat a burger everywhere I go. And I missed on a whole world of cuisine out there. I mean, I'm making up for lost time now, but I wish I would have been a little less picky in my younger days.
I should have started going to therapy sooner.
That's probably
I didn't wait until
to get all my problems out. Yeah. Maybe it would have been a little bit better with the ladies.
A little fewer problems.
That's true too.
There's a lot to unpack when you start off with somebody like that. Hi, you're on WMAY.
How about saving for retirement?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's that's another thing.
The magic
I wish I would have done.
Compound interest.
Yes, exactly. But here's the thing: when you're younger, you don't think about those days. You don't think about. You go, well, this night out on the town is really going to cost me my savings going forward.
And we all went through that exercise of the magic of compound interest. It's ridiculous what happens over time when you put something in savings.
But we never paid attention.
So you know it logically.
But you're like, but I want to go out. I need to go hang out with my friends. I don't need compound interest years from now.
Hello, you're on WMAY.
That's pretty easy one nowadays. Quit drinking. I quit once for 8 years, picked back up for about another 16. I would have had a lot more money to compound my interest on. I've had my several $1,000 12-packs.
So what made you decide to stop?
A new little daughter.
Oh.
I thought I had an old man that wouldn't quit for me, and that's what did it for me.
Oh, man, good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
Appreciate
Congrats
that.
on that. Yeah, there'd be some who said they wish
I'm so glad that was an uplifting answer.
Yes,
as soon as I asked the question.
I thought for a second, I was like, uh-oh.
I thought, what
you
have I
open
just asked this? Yeah.
You open Pandora's box, possibly.
I realized as the words were coming out of my mouth that could have been a really sad answer.
I had too many.
And would have brought us down.
I had too many friends went the way of Trini Lopez. That's what made me stop drinking. But yeah, 629-7970. What's something you wish you started doing earlier in your life? Like I said, for me, I wish I started playing hockey. I wish I would have had a wider array of cuisines I was willing to try as a younger person.
You know, and I was weird. That's all. I'm going to end it right there.
Yes, and
I was atypical.
Are you doing an improv thing? Yes, and
no, that was a period.
Okay.
I was atypical in that I started working professionally straight out of high school.
Okay.
And so that time that people screw off
and try to find themselves
and drink and party and
you never had that.
Had sex and all the other stuff, I never did any of those things. And so it's like I missed that whole phase that a lot of people went through, and I think I wish I would have.
You went from kid to adult without that interim of dipping your toe in adulthood by going away to college and pseudo living on your own.
Yes.
You missed that whole thing.
Basically, I'm saying I wish I had more sex with more different people.
I wish I would have started that earlier. I could have covered more bases.
If I started earlier, more sex with more different people is the convoluted
Regrets,
sentence.
I've had a few.
Hi, you're on WMAY.
Meeting my wife.
You wish you had met her sooner?
Yeah. That's a very sweet answer.
When did you meet her?
20 years ago, but she passed away.
Oh.
No.
Dang it. I knew something like that was going
Darn it. We that was a sweet answer, and we made it. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, we didn't do anything.
It broke bad on us there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know how to do anything, so it's hard for me to answer this question.
I kind of wish I would also, and we're talking about things you wish you started doing earlier in life, 629-7970. I wish I would have had the guts to maybe take on do-it-yourself projects earlier in my life. Because I missed out on the sense of accomplishment for the longest time. Like, things would break, and I'd be like, well, I'm just going to go buy a new one.
Oh, yeah.
And it never would have got to the point where on Sunday when I put the new garbage disposal in, I would never feel that satisfaction.
Yes, and I never actually got to that point either. But I remember growing up. I mean, I can picture my dad right now. He was always in the garage or always in the basement or something with a cigarette hanging out of the side of his mouth. So he's doing the thing where he's able to puff, inhale, and exhale.
Without oh man,
without fingers.
That's impressive.
Because he was busy, wrenching,
doing other stuff.
I don't know if your dad was like this, but he had this amazing ability to look at a nut and say, "Hand me the 3/4 wrench."
No, yeah, no.
I mean, because you know how you do that. He's like, "Oh, too small. Oh, that one's too big. Oh,
right.
Get the other one."
But he knew right away.
And he would just see it.
No.
And he would say that's an 8/16 or whatever the numbers are.
My dad would have no idea.
Yeah.
My dad was the only thing my dad was handy at is putting putty into the hole he punched into a wall about something. Like at
least he took responsibility and cleaned it.
He punched a hole in the wall once, and the other one was he got so upset that he threw open the door to the garage because he was going to drive off because he was so mad about something. I don't know what it was. He put a hole in the wall. He tried to putty it. He used the wrong color.
Oh.
So my mom then had to buy like a doorstop that was a teddy bear to put over it. That was a constant reminder to my dad that he had put a hole in the wall there. It was a little passive-aggressive.
A little.
So so that, I don't know, maybe earlier in life realizing my parents may have had problems and I shouldn't have forced them to stay together just for me.
Right.
And my sister.
Yeah, you would have been the one carrying your dad out of a store
right,
like
exactly.
you played earlier.
I would have. I totally would have.
Yeah, and back on the fix-it thing that my dad was so good at, and probably still is, I think that intimidated me so much that he could just eyeball a nut. Can I say that on the radio? My dad eyeballed a nut.
And knew exactly what size it was. And would be able to get the right tool for that nut. He would eyeball the nut, see the size, and be like, "Oh, this is the tool I need for it."
And he could just like pick up a ratchet, and it would be right. And I think I just went, you know what? I'll never get to that stage in life.
Here's the thing that with ratchets,
yes,
I still don't know how to set them right. I know there's one way you one way to go, one way, and there's sometimes I'm just like I don't know.
That's another thing that handy people seem to know is how to turn that thing.
What age were you when you realized there's different types of screwdrivers? Like when my dad would say, "Give me a screwdriver," I would just immediately go to the flathead because I didn't know there was other ones.
Yeah,
and they'd be like, "No, dummy, the Phillips head." What? There's a different type of screwdriver?
Yeah,
there's Phillips head screw and. Like, the things I've learned from my father-in-law, he is a very much do-it-yourself type of DIY guy. That's where I've kind of had the guts and the gumption to kind of go, okay, maybe I'll try these things too. But the amount of tools and stuff that he has where I go, I don't know, needle-nose pliers? What the hell is that? Whoever needs a needle-nose plier? What is that good for?
Man, you know what? Yeah.
I wish I would have learned earlier in life what all these tools are for, and I could have been a little bit more do-it-yourself.
Yeah, and I'm always both impressed and a little envious, but I don't know why, because I'm not interested in doing it anyway. But there are those guys that just have all of the tools.
Yeah, and they have the knack, and they know exactly
for the craziest things that never ever come up. But when they're in that situation, I've got one of those out in the garage.
First time you ever try to hang something in your new home, and they go, well, you need a stud finder and a level for that.
Right.
You go, what? And, of course, then you have to make the joke when you have to stud finder. Look, it found me.
Yeah, I still don't hang pictures right.
The level thing, I'm just like, what? Yeah. It's like all the things. I was like, don't I just nail it? No. I try to do that. And no, you don't just nail it. I'm like, well, I'm just hanging up. That's not how you do that. Well, I'm just going to tack it in the wall instead. No, you got to find the stud finder and the level.
I'm really good at, I don't even know the name of it now. I'm totally blanking on the name. What are those things with a screw that you put in the wall and they expand? You know, when you screw the thing and it expands.
After you eyeball the nut? I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the exact name of it.
Anchors.
Anchors.
Wow.
Yeah, wall anchors.
You know how difficult a word that is.
Exactly, the wall anchors, yeah.
I've gotten really good at wall anchors is what I wanted to say.
but instead I did the screw that spreads things. This has been Let's Talk Shop with Mike and Johnny.
Good grief.
Qué bonitos ojos tienes debajo de esas dos cejas, debajo de esas dos cejas.
Such a sad day.
Good.
Trini Butts continues. Trini Lopez.
Dead at 83.
Godspeed.
He'll be lying in state in the rotunda in the United States Capitol.
Yes, he will. That should be the biggest news of the day, but it's been overshadowed.
Nobody's talking about it.
No, except right here. And you're home for Grumbletonians and Trini Butts.
But no,
WMAY.
The liberal media is talking about Kamala Harris.
And the Big Ten and the Pac-12 and the Pritzker stuff and the J-Car and everything else going on.
Finally today, up in Canada, they are serious about the mask thing up there.
Oh, big time, yeah.
And they have issued 202 fines for people breaching restrictions just in the past 24 hours.
Holy cow.
Including a man who said the reason he wasn't home was because he had a friend was visiting, practicing his DJ skills, so he didn't. He didn't want to be home.
All right.
Of the total, 33 people were penalized for failing to wear a face covering. 8 people were caught at vehicle checkpoints, and 70 for breaching curfew in metropolitan Melbourne.
Okay.
In one instance, police said they found a man sitting in his car, in a car park. That's what they call them up there.
Yep. In the car park, just sitting there, minding my own business.
More than 5 kilometers from his home at about 7:30 on Sunday. When asked why he was there, he told police that his housemate's intimate partner was over.
Partner.
And the couple was being too loud in the bedroom, so he left the house to get some peace and quiet. But
so he just drove away.
But he didn't bring his mask with him.
Oh, you got to have the mask, man.
So he was out there in public all
coveting
up the place.
There's nothing more awkward in the world than when your roommate is in the midst of the hibbity-dibbity. And you're just trying to turn him. I'm trying to watch Mr. Belvedere over here.
Yeah, or even when you're in a hotel or something.
Oh yeah,
there's always something ridiculous. And hotel sex is weird anyway.
Yeah, because people feel like the walls. They're like, I'm never going to see these people, so I can do whatever freaky stuff I don't do at home.
That's like where the weird stuff happens.
It is.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow as we fill in for Jim Leach. Final day.
Yep, we leave you with the dulcet tones of Trini Lopez. Godspeed, Trini.
From the Fly SPI studio.